Chapter 486. Poison Chi Attack. Yi Chen's expression changed as he took out his long sword and threw out a slash at the toad. The toad was split into two halves, but it soon merged back together. It then opened its huge mouth and spat out a 10-meter-long purple tongue towards Yi Chen, seeking death. Looking at the huge number of people in the restaurant, Yi Chen's expression turned gloomy. The sword in his hand was waved out at a speed faster than human eyes could see, filling the air with sword shadows. Shoo! 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 The toad was shredded into a thin mist and dissipated. But in the next moment, the broken restaurant suddenly creaked, and the people who were leaning against the window were dumbfounded. It turned out that at some point, a huge purple mist snake had wrapped around the restaurant and was about to wrap around its body and kill everyone in the restaurant. This poison chi can even corrode Zhenyuan easily. Who could be so cruel as to kill everyone in the restaurant? Yi Chen did not need to think to know that it was the same person who had ambushed him last time. Unfortunately, he did not have the chance to meet him last time, and he did not expect to find him again this time. A horrifying wolf howl was heard as a violent chi flow burst out from the innermost private room. The chi flow broke through the walls and spread out in all directions, blowing away the purple mist snake. Another kind of bloodline? Yi Chen looked over and saw that the place where the private room used to be was now empty. What was exposed in front of him was a group of men in hats. They had an extremely creepy aura, and behind their backs, there were countless huge wolf shadows. They were different from normal demonic wolves, with horrifying blue eyes and white fur. They were indeed the legendary blue-eyed white wolves, the kind that had disappeared from the continent for a long time. Lizard body, dragon head shadow, three-headed snake shadow, blue-eyed white wolf shadow. What kind of bloodline is this? Why are they so strange? Yi Chen furrowed his brows. Most of the information that the warlord had injected into his mind was related to cultivation, or things related to cultivation. There wasn't everything else. There was no end to the poisonous gas attacks. Just as the purple mist snakes were scattered, countless purple mist spiders the size of human heads appeared. The purple mist spiders were extremely fast. Their 8 legs moved as fast as lightning, and they could even make people hallucinate. Thus, in a flash, the only people left in the restaurant were Yi Chen and the bamboo hat men. The restaurant was quickly corroded and melted by the poisonous gas. Without the obstruction of the wall, Yi Chen and the man in bamboo hat were exposed. Bastard. An intense killing aura burst out from Yi Chen's body. As far as the eye could see, not only the restaurant, but the entire Bluestone town had been enveloped by the purple poisonous gas. It was like a purple fog was spreading everywhere, spreading out his soul power, on the streets, in the residential buildings, in the tea houses, in the shops. There were tens of thousands of corpses. Tens of thousands of corpses were first corroded into white bones and then turned into ashes. Yi Chen's method was so cruel that it made people's hair stand on end. And the purpose of all this was just to deal with Yi Chen. Just to deal with me. You actually massacred the entire town. Even if you don't want to find me, I will find you. A horrifying sword intent shot up into the sky. The purple fog was torn open. Yi Chen held the sword with both of his hands and waved it out heavily. Crack! The Bluestone town was suddenly split open, and the purple fog area was divided into two. Using his movement art, Yi Chen flew towards the tunnel without any poisonous gas. Only when he got out of the town would he be able to find the real body of the poisoner. However, after he had flown out for dozens of meters, the tunnel was closed up immediately. Countless purple mist centipedes rushed over, one after another, like a tide. Yi Chen looked calm. He turned his body in the air and tried to break through to the top. Hiss! 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 It was a dead end up there as well. Countless huge purple mist snakes were swimming in the fog. They were so dense that it looked like an inescapable net. This is a formation. Let's get out of here. The leading man in bamboo hat could tell that the poisoner's target was Yi Chen. Therefore, he gave up on the idea of killing Yi Chen. He did not think that Yi Chen would be able to escape from this formation. Of course, if the poisoner did not know what was good for him and wanted to kill them as well, then he should not blame him for ruining his plan.
Shoo.
Shoo. The man in bamboo had had the white wolf shadow to protect him, which made his speed extremely fast. The poisoner obviously did not make a stupid decision and opened up a tunnel for them. A person's Zhenyuan cannot be this rich. This is a formation. Yi Chen was not stupid. He knew that he had been trapped by a formation. There were two ways to break it. One was to break it with brute force, which meant that he would have to rely on his overwhelming power to break the formation. There was no need to think about anything else. The other way was to break it with brute force. Since the formation was brute force, one would naturally be able to find a way to break it. Down there, Yi Chen suddenly thought of something. He twisted his feet and disappeared into the ground like a beam of light. Outside of the town that was covered in purple mist, the ghost warrior sneered, "How could I not know about this hole? The 5 Poison Grate Formation goes 10,000 meters underground. From now on, this place will become a forbidden place. No one will be able to live in it for 1,000 years." Master Rain looked in another direction and said, "They are coming. This group of people is not simple. They seem to have some powerful bloodline.
I'll try not to mess with them if I can."
The ghost warrior was very scared of the men in bamboo hats. Otherwise, he would not have let them out. He was afraid that they would treat him as an enemy and cause trouble. The men in bamboo hats stopped 100 meters away. The leading man said coldly, "You two are very skilled. You have set up a 5 Poison Grate Formation without anyone noticing and poisoned an entire town to death." The ghost warrior chuckled while activating the formation. "That brat and I have a grudge. In order to take care of him, I have no choice but to do so. As for you guys, I hope you will forgive us for our offense."
Huh.
You think you can forgive us just because you say so? That is way too easy. One of the men in bamboo hat sneered. Master Rain shook his head and took out a top-rank weapon from his storage ring. He threw it over and said, "This is your compensation." Reaching out to catch the dazzling high-grade artifact, the leader of the bamboo hat men felt his blood boiling. The reason for this was not because of the high-grade artifact, but because something was calling him. It was the green-eyed trackers. Had they come 3 days earlier? "Let's go." Putting away the top-rank weapon, the leading man turned to leave without saying anything. The others had also sensed the calling from afar, so they followed right behind him. Strange, they seemed to have something to do? Master Rain looked confused. The ghost warrior laughed. "It would be great if they had something to do. Right now, even the sky is helping us. There is no reason for that brat to not fall. Once I get what I want, I will turn him into a poison corpse. It will be very interesting. Whether it will be interesting or not, I do not know. I only know that if you do not try harder, you will not be able to trap him anymore." From Master Rain's direction, he could clearly see the sword chi within the purple mist area, tearing apart the giant snakes, centipedes, and toads that were made of poison chi. Hee. The 5 Poison Grate spell requires 625 highly poisonous crystals. I spent 10 years to collect all of them. How could it be broken this easily? Although the ghost warrior was very confident in the 5 Poison Grate spell, he did not slow down at all. He continued to push his Zhenyuan, causing the purple poisonous chi to form into poisonous creatures to attack Yi Chen. He was using the advantage of numbers to cancel out Yi Chen's attacking advantage. Inside the purple mist, Yi Chen's protective Zhenyuan was continuously being corroded, and the rate at which his Zhenyuan was being drained was increasing. He was not a Sea of Soul realm expert, so his Zhenyuan was not as rich as his opponents, nor was it as pure. Regardless of his battle power, his Zhenyuan defense was indisputable. Facing this purple poisonous chi that was everywhere, the only thing Yi Chen could do was to use his protective Zhenyuan to defend against it, and then think of a way to get out. As for breaking through it with tricks, it would be impossible, since he did not know much about spells. If it were that easy to break through, then it would not be a spell at all. I can't do it underground. The soil has already been corroded by the poisonous chi, and the friction with the protective Zhenyuan would be even more intense. The sky would not work either, since the poisonous chi is the thickest there. It seems like all of the poisonous qi is rising up into the air and spreading down. I guess I will have to break through from the front. After making up his mind, the blue protective Zhenyuan around Yi Chen's body shone with a layer of gold light. It turned out that he had activated the top-rank defensive gold armor's buff effect. Then, he put his longsword back into its scabbard and took out a green longsword from his storage ring. It was a top-rank greatsword, which he had gotten from killing the green-robed sword artist in the parallel space battlefield. He had never used it before. With a top-rank defensive weapon on his body and a top-rank longsword in his hand, Yi Chen's overall power had increased drastically. Even if he were to face a spirit warrior, he would have 30% chance of escaping unscathed.
Who?
With a wave of the sword, countless poisonous creatures formed from the purple mist were shattered, revealing a straight sword path. Top-rank defensive weapon, top-rank longsword. This brat is even richer than I thought. The poisonous qi in the purple mist region was like the ghost warrior's eyes and ears. Therefore, all of Yi Chen's movements were under his surveillance. Right then, seeing Yi Chen put on a top-rank weapon, his face darkened. He pushed his Zhenyuan to its limit and formed a poisonous creature army within the purple mist region, attacking toward Yi Chen. The Bluestone town is not that big. The purple mist region is not as scary as the Forbidden Zone. I will use my protective Zhenyuan to last for a while, then break through the spell and rush out. A cold light flashed in Yi Chen's eyes as the protective Zhenyuan around his body became thicker and firmer. He then extended his body and rushed toward the poisonous creature army.
Pooh, 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 pooh.
The poisonous creature army landed on Yi Chen's protective Zhenyuan, making weird popping sounds. It sounded like an egg hitting a rock or tea splashing on the ground. Along with it, a sizzling sound of corrosion could be heard continuously. His protective Zhenyuan was getting thinner and thinner as Yi Chen was surrounded by the poisonous creature army. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. Without any pause, the long sword in Yi Chen's hand vibrated, spitting out a sword light that seemed to be able to cut through the space as he threw out a sword attack.
Boom.
The purple mist region was pierced through, and a gap was torn open in the poisonous creature army. Bastard. Block it for me. The ghost warrior's face was twisted as he tried to block Yi Chen back. However, Yi Chen had already reached the edge of the purple mist region, and there was no way he could block it. With a shoo sound, Yi Chen appeared outside the purple mist region and saw the ghost warrior and Master Rain. Master Rain's face was slightly surprised. He did not expect Yi Chen to break through the spell so quickly. Little brother, you cannot win against us. As long as you hand over what he wants, I can let you go. How you choose will depend on whether or not you are controlled by anger. Chapter 487. What is it? Yi Chen really wanted to know what this guy wanted. He did not remember ever interacting with this guy before. The ghost warrior gave up on activating the 5 poison great array and said with a cold face, "Hand over the thing you got from under the stone men's camp." Do you know what I am talking about? Hearing him, Yi Chen squinted his eyes. It seemed like this guy was the same as him, also searching for the secret of the undying body. However, he had never seen him before, so he must be hiding in the dark. This kind of person was the most dangerous. He was like a poisonous snake hiding in the grass, ready to bite you at any second. You would not even know how and why you died. What if I don't want to hand it over? Zhenyuan slowly but powerfully operated inside his body. Yi Chen's spirit was highly concentrated, ready to launch a fatal attack at any second. If you don't hand it over, you will wish you were dead. Even if you manage to escape this time, how many times can you escape? By then, you will not be the only one who will suffer. Your friends, your women, your families will all suffer as well. They will have to bear the consequences that they should not have to bear. I guess they will hate you even before they die. As he spoke, the 5 poison ghost warriors started to laugh. Although they did not have the absolute confidence to keep Yi Chen here, it would be impossible for Yi Chen to do anything to them. Oh yeah? Even if you don't come for me, I will come for you. You are destined to be a ghost under my sword. His body suddenly piercing out, Yi Chun threw out a sword attack. It was not a profound sense martial art, nor was it a powerful killing attack. It was just a normal sword attack. However, with the enhancement of the fast mentality, it was unbelievably fast and accurate. Once the sword was thrown out, the crescent moon-like sword chi had already approached the ghost warrior's body. Master Rain's senses and reflexes were one level higher than the ghost warrior's, so he had been watching out for Yi Chun for a long time. Seeing him throw out his sword without any hesitation, he did not show any other emotions except for being a little surprised at the speed. A metal ring appeared in his hand, which vibrated and brought up a dreamy water wave. It blocked in front of the ghost warrior, clashing with the tip of the sword.
Boom.
Water splashed everywhere as the ghost warrior was blown away, breaking 3 huge trees in a row. At the same time, Yi Chun changed his sword aura. He was like a swimming fish, avoiding the most powerful shockwave and attacking towards Master Rain, who was trying to stop him. Ding 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 pu. The first 3 sword attacks were all blocked by Master Rain's ring, while the last one brushed past the ring and left a bloody mark on Master Rain's shoulder.
Pop.
Master Rain's body was like the moon in the water, disappearing into nothingness. When he reappeared, he was already hundreds of meters away, dodging Yi Chun's continuous attacks. Turning his head to look at the wound on his shoulder, Master Rain's face darkened. Even though he had already considered Yi Chun as a powerful opponent, he did not expect that he would be at a disadvantage right from the start. Brat, you're courting death. The 5 Poisons Ghost General, who was sent flying, had a livid expression. He flicked his sleeves and corroded the branches and leaves that were blocking him into ashes. Then, he bounced up from the ground and slammed his palm forward. 5 Poison Godly Palms. The purple Zhen Yuan separated into 5 parts, turning into different shapes in the air. One was a poisonous snake, one was a centipede, one was a spider, one was a scorpion, and the last one was a toad. The 5 Zhen Yuan poisonous creatures looked extremely lifelike. They all attacked towards Yi Chun while showing their fangs and claws. Break. Besides the fact that the ghost warrior was a bit more powerful, his battling power was nothing in Yi Chun's eyes. Facing this poisonous palm attack, Yi Chun waved his long sword in the air. The 5 poisonous creatures seemed to have been hit in their weak spots. Their bodies twisted and exploded, while rolling purple chi corroded the ground in front of them and created a huge pit. 1 ring in the moon. Master Rain's attack had arrived as well. That metal ring vibrated in the air and turned into a huge green halo. It twisted the water Yuan Chi and looked like a deep ocean whirlpool, squeezing Yi Chun in the middle. It then suddenly wrapped around him, trying to lock down Yi Chun's movement. Yi Chun knew that he could not let himself be trapped by the green halo. Even if he could break it, it would still take a lot of time. During that time, even if he had 9 lives, it would not be enough. PSHH. The emerald longsword was waved up, and the green halo was sliced open. 2 Ring Sunlock. Another metal ring appeared in Master Rain's hand. As he threw it out, the 2 metal rings intertwined with each other, turning into layers of green light rings. It was hard to tell which one was the real one and which one was the fake one. The rings spread out in the air, and the number of rings increased drastically once again. The bigger rings covered the smaller ones, and the smaller ones were connected to the bigger ones, covering the entire sky, layer upon layer. Troublesome indeed. Yi Chun frowned hard. Master Rain's battling power was extremely horrifying, and he was almost at the level of a spirit warrior. Plus, there was still the 5 Poison Ghost Warrior, whose battling power was not that impressive, but his poison art was extremely vicious. The 2 of them had given him a huge pressure that he had never felt before. Sword step. Find the gap. Using his body as a sword, Yi Chun turned into a beam of sword light, flying through the gaps of the countless rings. Whenever he ran into something that he could not dodge, he would throw out a sword attack. What kind of step art is this? Master Rain was shocked as he watched Yi Chun fly out of his attacking range. The Ghost Warrior did not expect Yi Chun to be able to break through Master Rain's 2-ring sunlock so easily. As far as he knew, once this attack was performed, Even those who were slightly more powerful than Master Rain would not be able to fight back. Mountain Melting Palm. Putting his left hand on his right arm, the ghost warrior's Jin Yuan increased drastically. A purple swirl appeared in the middle of his palm, looking like a mountain. He threw it towards Yichen. Amaranthan nature. Yichen was not afraid at all. He performed his amaranthan nature and stabbed out with his sword.
Pooh.
The purple Zhan Yuan had been pierced through, and a sword hole appeared in the center of the ghost warrior's palm. Just when his palm was about to be pierced through, Master Rain's reinforcement arrived just in time. One of his metal rings had managed to deflect Yichen's long sword while the other one was thrown out. Missing his attack, Yichen hurried to back out, avoiding the incoming ring. No. One of them has such a powerful poison art, and the other has such a weird movement. If I do not take care of one of them, I will not be able to gain the upper hand. Yichen's eyes sparkled as he glanced at Master Rain and the ghost warrior. Master Rain said coldly, "Give me that thing, and I will give you a peaceful life. Otherwise, you will see this kind of scene again in the future. Not only you, but also your friends and family. I think they are not as powerful as you, right?" The killing intent in his eyes was not hidden at all, as Yichen sneered. "Even if I hand it over, you might not let me go. Only by removing the root of the problem will you be able to solve the problem in the future. Am I right? Since you insist, then do not blame us." Master Rain neither admitted nor denied it, but he agreed with Yichen deep down in his heart. Yichen's potential was way too horrifying. Once he grew up, even he and the ghost warrior together would not be his opponent. Therefore, for the peace of the future, they could only chase after Yichen without giving up. Asking Yichen to give up now was only to increase their own power. "Brat, this is the path you have chosen. Do not regret it in the future. I, the ghost warrior, have plenty of ways to torture people." The ghost warrior knew that he would not be Yichen's opponent, so he let Master Rain be the main attacker, and he would help from the side. After all, he knew that his most powerful art was his poison art, not his fighting power. The long sword in his hand was pointed at the ground, the sword light shooting out. Yichen secretly activated his immortal body and switched to using his soul power to leave a soul mark on his internal organs. The effect of the soul mark was way stronger than the mental mark, and it could last for half an hour. During this time, the internal injuries would be negligible unless the opponent's attack power was beyond his immortal body's limit. I have said it before, you will be a ghost under my sword. Yichen gave up on fighting with Master Rain and attacked the ghost warrior directly. Master Rain frowned. The ghost warrior could not die. If he died, he would not be able to control Yichen anymore. Only by working together would he have a chance.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Throwing out the metal ring, Master Rain started his most aggressive attack on Yichen. The second he got close to the ghost warrior, Yichen suddenly grabbed the other 3 swords with his left hand and swung them back. It was the reverse sky thundercut. The sound of metal exploding was heard along with thousands of sparks. After blowing away the ring with one sword attack, Yichen crossed his 2 swords and performed his dual sword art. Not good. His target is me. Master Rain was shocked at Yichen's cunning. He did not have time to take back the ring and threw out a punch.
Boom.
Yichen's attack was weaker than he had expected. Although that punch was the full power of Master Rain, it was still not as powerful as the ring attack. However, Yichen was blown away, like an arrow leaving the bow. In the next second, he appeared 10 steps away from the ghost warrior. Damn it! This brat's target is still 5 poison. Fighting with me was just to cover up his goal and create a fog to make 5 poison lower his guard. Master Rain was shocked at Yichen's battling experience. It was not something that could be gained through training. It would require a top talent, since people with weak battling talent would not be able to make such a plan in such a critical moment. Killing 5 poison will leave you with a wounded body. Let's see what you will choose. Master Rain roared in anger as he used both of his hands to control the ring that was not far away and threw it at Yichen. He was confident that Yichen would not have a good time under his attack. Yichen did not care about the ring behind him at all. His emerald longsword started to vibrate at an extreme speed as the edge of the sword light was covered in a layer of gold. Gold resonant radiance attack. With a flash of gold light, the ghost warrior was sliced in half. A red line extended from his head to his crotch before blood splashed everywhere. He did not even know that he was already dead. He wanted to attack back at Yichen, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not activate his Jin Yuan and fell heavily onto the ground.
Boom.
The second he killed the ghost warrior, Yichen's back was also hit by a ring attack. As for the other one, he had dodged it. Puking out blood from the corner of his mouth, Yichen turned around calmly. Master Rain's face was twisted as he said, "Your internal organs should have been broken, right? How much power do you have left? 50%? 30%? After killing the ghost warrior, I want you to die with him. This is the wrong choice you made, the wrong choice to put yourself in death." Chapter 488. 5 Poison Ghost Warrior. I did not expect you to be the leader of the 108 ghost warriors of the 9 evil cult. I did not expect you to have already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Unfortunately, you still died in my hands. Speaking of which, I have already killed 4 ghost warriors of the 9 evil cult. I wonder what kind of relationship you have with them? The ghost warriors who had died in Yi Chen's hands were the ghost corpse man, the blood demon, the white bone ghost warrior, and the 5 poison ghost warrior. He guessed that Master Rain might be one of the ghost warriors as well, but he had surpassed the 5 poison ghost warrior. In Master Rain's eyes, Yi Chen was already a dead man. Therefore, he said without hesitation, "I guess there is no harm in telling you. I am the outer master of the 9 evil cult, Yu Yutian." Outer master Yu Yutian? Very good. Ghost warriors are not powerful enough for me anymore. Now, it is the master-level warriors of the 9 evil cult. Huh. Arrogant. When you were at your peak, I might have been a bit scared. But now, I can kill you with one hand. 2 rings unlock. Although Yu Yutian said that, he did not dare to be careless at all. Although it was rare for someone to fail miserably, it was not impossible. Even a lion would use all of its power to catch a rabbit. He would not make this kind of mistake, at least not before his opponent fell down. The earth-shattering green halos sealed the area, layer upon layer, the big halos encircling the small halos. Blood leaked out of Yi Chen's mouth, but he did not try to dodge. It seemed like he could not dodge at all. The green longsword in his hand kept slicing out, stabbing out, and trying to break through the blocking of the light. It gave people the feeling that he was a small boat on the ocean and could be destroyed at any second. Seeing that, Yu Yutian let out a breath of relief. It seemed like Yi Chen was indeed badly wounded, but he did not know how bad it was. There were a lot of green light rings, and their trajectories were constantly changing. However, Yi Chen's sword arts were fast, brutal, and accurate. No matter how the green light rings changed, they could not get close to him, not to mention locking him down. "Huh. Let's see how long you can last, Yu Qiansha." Sneering, Yu Yutian quickly formed hand seals with both hands. As he formed hand seals, the water yuan qi in the air started to move, and the sky turned gray. Then, rain arrows started to rain down. It was as if thousands of arrows had been shot at the same time, or as if hailstones were falling. Reverse sky thundercut. Yi Chen held his sword in a reverse grip and slashed downwards. The rings and rain arrows within a radius of 3 feet bounced off like a hollow ball.
Puff.
After doing all this, Yi Chen opened his mouth and spat out a large mouthful of blood. He looked dispirited. This is the moment. Yu Yutian suddenly felt that he shouldn't kill Yi Chen right now. He couldn't kill him before he obtained the secret that the Ghost General 5 Poisons wanted. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wasted a few months following the Ghost General 5 Poisons around. With a thought, Yu Yotian's next attack weakened by 30%. A majestic water dragon, propelled by his true essence, rushed out with an imposing aura that seemed as if it could break through everything. Water Dragon Kill. This attack was Yu Yotian's most powerful single-target profound sense martial art. The first loop moon cover and second loop sunlock were ceiling attacks, the Rain 1000 kill was a group attack, and the Water Dragon kill was the real ace attack that he used against powerful enemies. Even if he had only used 70% of his Jinyuan, it would still be enough to wound Yi Chen badly.
Boom.
The moment the Water Dragon rushed out, a forked lightning appeared in the sky, which was extremely shocking. Finally here, a sharp cold light flashed through Yi Chen's eyes, as if someone had waved out a fatal sword attack from within. The emerald longsword vibrated at an unimaginable frequency. Within a second, it had vibrated at least 1,000 times. The blue sword light was covered with a layer of golden light. The golden light continued to flow, shooting out along with Yi Chen's attack. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword Attack. Without any obstruction, the majestic water dragon was directly split in half, shooting out from both sides of Yi Chen and into the distance.
What?
Impossible. Could it be? An unbelievable look flashed through Yu Youtian's eyes. A thought flashed through his mind, and he could not help but think. Could it be that it was all an illusion? Yi Chen wasn't injured at all, and that so-called injury was just an act to make me lower my guard and attack recklessly? But my ring had clearly landed on his back. Even if he was wearing a top-ranked defensive item, the power would still have passed through. There was no way he would not be injured at all. What is going on? Yu Youtian's mind was in a mess. He felt like he had run into something incomprehensible. If the ghost warrior were here, he would definitely not make this kind of mistake, because he was sure that Yi Chen had gotten the undying body training method. Therefore, he would definitely be on guard against it during the battle. However, he was too cautious and did not tell Yu Youtian the truth, afraid that the latter would get rid of him and take all the benefits for himself. Yu Youtian had predicted everything, but he had not expected Yi Chen to have trained the undying body. This mistake would not be changed by his will. The gold resonant radiance sword was like a hot knife cutting through butter. After cutting open the water dragon, its remaining power did not disappear as it landed heavily on Yu Youtian's chest. Chin. A burning spark appeared on Yu Youtian's chest as a wave of power rushed into his body through the mid-rank defensive item. He could no longer hold the hot blood in his mouth as he puked it out. Brat, you are so cunning. His body flying backward, Yu Youtian turned into a beam of light and tried to escape. You think you can run away? Yi Chen performed his movement art and chased after him. One was heavily wounded while the other was perfectly fine. The distance between them was getting shorter and shorter, and it was already within Yi Chen's attack range. Shoo! The sword chi shot out as Yi Chen threw out a sword attack. Yu Youtian seemed to have grown eyes on the back of his head as his body flashed once, avoiding the incoming sword chi. However, his speed was once again slowed down. No. If this continues, I will be beaten to death. I will have to use some essence blood and perform the blood escape. With that thought in mind, Yu Youtian's body shook once as his speed increased drastically. The Jinyuan that he had shot out contained a bright red color, and his face had turned even paler. The purity of Yi Chen's Jinyuan was not as pure as Yu Youtian's after all. Earlier, when the latter was heavily wounded, he could still catch up slowly. But now, the gap would only get bigger and bigger, and he would eventually lose his chance.
Boom.
The protective Jinyuan outside his body shattered, turning into countless light that's floating in the air. The broken pieces then merged together and formed into waves of sharp sword light, making him look like a sword god riding a sword. Go! The sword finger on his right hand suddenly pierced out, and the sword light shot out with Yi Chen. This kind of speed was already infinitely close to the speed of an attack. It was like a beam of light cutting through the sky, fast like a dream. What kind of secret art is this? Yu Youtian's face turned pale as he tried his best to perform the blood escape. A beam of blood light and a wave of sword light chased each other with all their might. Overall, Yi Chen's speed was still a bit faster. Before, the success rate of my sword light flying art was less than 10%. But now, it has reached 100% without any delay. Back in the Blood Demon battlefield, Yi Chen had been chased by 4 extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. When he was heavily wounded, he used the sword light flying art and escaped. After that, Yi Chun had been training the sword light flying art hard, hoping that one day he would be able to use it freely. And this goal had been achieved a long time ago. However, he never had the chance to use it because it had to be used in a situation where he was running for his life or being chased. After all, using the sword light flying art required him to remove his protective Jinyuan. The Bluestone town was located in the south of the mountain region, less than 30,000 miles away from the border. Unknowingly, the two had left the mountain region and arrived above a mountain range. Their speed was already more than 10 times faster than the speed of sound. If you kill me, you will be chased by all of the powerful warriors from the Nine Ghost cult. Your family and your martial school will be destroyed. Do you think it is worth it? Even if Yu Tian was a Sea of Souls realm warrior and had trained his spirit body, the spirit blood inside his body was not endless. After half an hour, the blood inside his body was about to be used up. If it continued like this, even without Yi Chen chasing after him, he would not be able to live past tomorrow. Yi Chen sneered. The Nine Ghost cult had been destroyed decades ago. The remaining people are all like rats on the street. Do you think I would be scared?
Huh.
The remaining powerful warriors of our Nine Ghost cult are way beyond your imagination. Don't look for your own death and bring danger to your family. Leaving you alive would be the real danger.
Damn.
Even if I die, I want you to die with me. Yu Tian gave up on running for his life. He was ready to die, with Yi Chen while he still had some power left. The second he turned around, a cyan-colored sword light with a hint of gold flashed past. He felt his neck go numb as he saw a headless body far away from him.
Who?
After killing Yu Tian with one sword attack, Yi Chen let out a breath. He was indeed an outer master of the Nine Ghost cult, who was extremely hard to deal with. If it were not for the fact that he had a part of the undying body and pretended to be weak, he might not even be able to wound him badly, let alone kill him. Reaching out his hand, Yu Tian's storage ring landed in his hand. Yi Chen did not even look at it before throwing it into his own storage ring. This should be the approaching Star Mountain, right? After this mountain, it would be the Star Regional Lake. I have not been to the Snake Island for a couple of years, so I wonder what kind of realm Wang Snake has reached. Back then, Yi Chen had a grudge against the floating island, but he was afraid that they would vent their anger on the Wang family. Therefore, he did not try to contact Wang Snake. After such a long time, the floating island should have already gotten over the grudge, so it was time for him to go to the Snake Island. He did not hurry on with his journey. Instead, he found a quiet mountain and sat down to recover his Jinyuan. Hundreds of miles away from the Blue Rock town in the mountain region, a group of people in hats gathered together. Most of them were wearing white robes, but only 3 of them were in black. Did you bring the Wang family's blood? One of them asked. Yes. The leading man in white took out a transparent glass bottle from his storage ring, which was filled with a blood-red liquid. Taking over the glass bottle, the man in black opened it and smelled it, then passed it to the other 2 men next to him. After the 3 had smelled it, the one who spoke earlier said, "All right, we have smelled the Wang family's blood. As long as they are not more than 100,000 miles away, they will not be able to escape even if they are at the end of the world. Now, take us to the Snake Island. With the power of those 2 descendants of the Wang family, they might not be able to get more than 100,000 miles away in a couple of days. Follow me." Shoo.
Shoo. Shoo.
The group of men in hats flew out, heading towards the south. Chapter 489. The Star Regional Lake was a continent-level lake. Even if it was not the top 3 in the whole true spirit continent, it would at least be in the top 5. It had an area of millions of miles, which would be more than enough to put the whole South River region in. And this was only a lake filled with water. As such a huge lake, there were countless small islands on the Star Regional Lake. They were like stars in the sky, and one could be seen after a certain distance. The Wind Island was a small island that was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Snake Island. There were millions of people living on the island, and it was quite prosperous. Inside a luxurious restaurant, Yichen sat by the window drinking tea while listening to the information exchange between the warriors. Have you heard? The Wang family on the Snake Island near the Black Dragon Empire had been killed? Not even a chicken or a dog was left alive. Even the Snake Island had lost a lair. Killed? Who would be so cruel? That Wang family was a rank 9 family after all. How could they be killed just like that? Plus, I heard that in the past couple of years, 2 young warriors had appeared in the Wang family, and they were both at the astral reaching realm. If a rank 8 martial institution wanted to take care of them, they would have to suffer a lot. You are a bit too short-sighted. For us, the Wang family is a huge beast. But for those powerful warriors, they could be killed just like that. Whatever the warriors in the restaurant were saying next, Yichen did not hear it, because he had already left the restaurant. In the sky, Yichen rode on his flying puppet, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound. Who did the Wang family offend to be killed? How is Wang Snake? There were a lot of questions in Yichen's head. He did not expect to hear the news of the Wang family being killed just when he was about to go to the Snake Island. Although he did not have much feelings for the Wang family, and his relationship with Wang Snake was not that deep either. But the Wang family had given him a 3,000-year-old blood sunflower after all, and Wang Snake had been protected by him before. Without knowing why, Yichen thought of those men in hats. There was no reason for him to think of them. Wang Snake, you did not look like a short-lived person before. You should not die this easily, right? If you die, you will have nothing left. Wang Snake's potential was something that Yichen knew very well. He could tell a thing or two from Tuabaku, and Wang Snake was even younger than him.
Whoosh.
The flying puppet shot forward as fast as a flash of light. From afar, Yichen saw the Snake Island. The Snake Island that used to be so tall was now shorter. It seemed like the top had been sliced off by a knife. However, judging from the cut marks, it was not a knife, but a claw. It was torn by a claw. A large number of martial artists stood on the uneven surface. You didn't see what happened that day. A group of people dressed in white and wearing bamboo hats surrounded the Wang family and killed every single one of them. Not even the children were spared. In the end, when they were about to leave, the leader of the group waved his hand, and the Wang family on the Snake Island was directly wiped out and turned into what you see now. That's too cruel. They didn't even leave a complete corpse. Sigh. This world is a world where the strong are respected. The words of the strong are absolute. If they say they will destroy you, then they will destroy you. There is no room for discussion. A peak-late astral-reaching expert has arrived. A lot of people had noticed Yichen, who had a powerful qi. Yichen had heard everyone's conversation, especially the words men in white. If it were not a coincidence, then the men in white that he had met in the Blue Stone Town would be the main culprit who had killed the Wang family. This guess was not without reason. First of all, it was not that there were no people in white, but for a group of them to appear, the chance would be very small. Secondly, the men in white had the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline, while the Wang family had the multi-headed snake bloodline. The two of them were somehow related. Therefore, Yichen was pretty sure that it was those men in white who had killed the Wang family. This is indeed tricky. Those men in white are not easy to deal with, especially the leader. His power seems to be no weaker than Yu Youtian's. Yichen frowned. He knew how powerful Yu Youtian was. Perhaps he would not be afraid of one man in white, but a group of them would have to be careful. Plus, people with this kind of bloodline would be extremely powerful. Even Yichen did not have the confidence to win against that leader. Let's not worry about this for now. Let's look for some clues. Between his eyebrows, Yichen let out his soul power quietly. 30 miles. 50 miles. 80 miles. 90 miles. Not until he had let his soul power reach 90 miles deep into the Snake Island did Yichen start to feel that his soul power was not able to reach out anymore. There is a slight space vibration, but it is very weak. His expression changed as Yichen left the cut surface and came to the middle of the mountain, allowing his soul power to reach even deeper. Realizing that there was nothing wrong yet, he dove right into the bottom of the lake. There is a transporting stone door there? Yi Chun had finally found the source of the vibration. It was actually 360 miles below the cut surface. If it were not for the fact that Yi Chun's soul power was more powerful than most of the Sea of Souls realm warriors, he might not be able to find it. Thinking about it, it was not that the leading man in white did not use his soul power to search. It was just that the range of his soul power was limited, and the stone door was too deep, which was why he did not notice it. Of course, the most important reason was that Yi Chun had trained the void-shattering finger art, which contained the space mentality, which made him extra sensitive to the space vibration coming from the stone door. Without much hesitation, Yi Chun pushed his protective Zhen Yuan and squeezed into the mud at the bottom of the lake, approaching the stone door. Soon, Yi Chun arrived in front of the stone door. The stone door was located in an underground stone room. There was no way to go down from the top. There was only a small hidden path on the side. The entrance of the small path was also at the bottom of the lake, covered with water plants. The path was not smooth all the way and there were a lot of traps. It was also the reason why Yi Chun did not come in through the small path. It was not because he was afraid of the traps, but because he was afraid that the traps would cause too much noise. I wonder where this door leads to. Yi Chun thought about it again and again before stepping in. He believed that the Wang family would not set up a stone door that would trap people in a dangerous place, since there was no need for it at all. After all, how many people would be able to find it? The purpose of this stone door was most likely to transport important people away. Perhaps Wang's snake was still alive? Who? The swirl in the stone door spun once, and Yi Chun disappeared completely inside. Sister May, someone is coming through the stone door. In a dimly lit underground building, a teenager in black stared at the stone door in front of him with a cautious expression. It was indeed Wang's snake, whom Yi Chun had not seen for many years. Behind him, a cold-looking lady in black walked over. It was indeed another martial genius of the Wang family, Wang Mei. Back in the Star Regional Lake, her three-headed snake had attacked the big ship that Yi Chun and Wang Snake were on. Little Snake, our Wang family, might have been destroyed. The people coming here are most likely enemies. Later, I will hold them off. You run by yourself. Do not look back. There was a hint of sadness in Wang Mei's eyes, but it was soon replaced by determination. Wang's snake shook his head. No, Sister Mei, I want to face it with you. Stupid brat. What is the use of you staying here? It will only be one more corpse. Only by staying alive can you avenge my family. I believe you have the potential. You have reached the peak level early astral reaching realm from the condensing reality realm in just a couple of years. Compared to a couple of years ago, Wang Mei had matured quite a bit.
Who?
Just as the two were talking, the swirl inside the conveyor door suddenly sped up, and a human figure walked out.
Die.
A six-headed snake shadow appeared behind Wang Mei and Wang Snake. The 12 snake heads bit towards the incoming person, attacking fiercely.
Boom.
The incoming person threw out a punch, and the two backed out continuously. It's me. After throwing out a punch to push back the two, Yi Chun said. Wang Snake was overjoyed. Brother Yi? It really is Brother Yi. Sister Mei, he is not an enemy. He is my savior, Brother Yi. A confused look flashed past Wang Mei's face, but she nodded and said calmly, I know. Yi Chun looked around and realized that he was underground. The walls were inlaid with glowing crystals, which made it possible for him to see his own fingers in this dark environment. He was in a stone hall, which looked very ancient and elegant. It seemed to have been here for a long time. Wang Snake, what is this place? This is our Wang family's forbidden place. Brother Yi, is our Wang family still here? Wang Snake asked carefully. In the past few years, he had developed feelings for the Wang family. Except for a few people, the others were very nice to him, especially the family head, Wang Heng. At the side, Wang Mei also looked at Yi Chun. Yi Chun was silent for a while, shook his head, and said in a low voice, the Wang family has been razed to the ground. I only found out about it by chance, and then I found the conveyor door. Grandpa, Uncle Zhou, are they all dead? Wang Snake's eyes were filled with tears. The dead cannot be resurrected. It is already a great fortune for you to be alive. You must cherish this life, and when you are strong enough, you can take revenge. Yichen comforted him. I know, I will. Wang Shi clenched his fists tightly. Not only was the main family destroyed, before the main family was destroyed, his previous family was also destroyed. Not even the fowls and dogs were spared. These days, he felt very painful every moment. Fortunately, Wang Mei was with him. She was his only relative. The conveyor door's light dimmed and gradually disappeared. Yichen knew that the conveyor door's original energy had been used up. After all, this conveyor door was very low level compared to the conveyor doors Yichen had seen. There was a limit to the number of people, and it was impossible to teleport without limit. How did you escape? Yichen asked. Wang Snake explained, after my previous family was destroyed, Grandpa Wang Heng forced me and sister Mei to enter the conveyor door. It was a one-way conveyor door, and we could not teleport back. There was also a limit to the number of people who could enter. It seemed that there was only one person left. Then can you tell me about the Wang family's secrets and the cause? This was what Yichen wanted to know the most. Otherwise, he would not be able to make a plan. Wang Snake looked at Wang Mei, and Wang Mei nodded and said, let me tell you. Anyway, the Wang family only exists in name, and there is nothing to hide. There are some things that you are not clear about. Chapter 490. Taking a deep breath, Wang Mei said slowly, in the ancient era, there were many mixed blood races. Among them, the most powerful ones were the demi-beast families. Our Wang family was one of the demi-beast families. As for the so-called demi-beasts, they were beasts that could transform into human forms. In other words, they were the descendants of the beast kings and humans. They had the bloodline of both beasts and humans. When the beast bloodline was awakened, they could summon the phantom of the demi-beast, which would increase their battling power tremendously, allowing them to easily fight against those with higher realms. When a beast reached the beast king realm, it could have offspring with humans. The fact that the Wang family had the bloodline of both beasts and humans did not surprise Yichen at all. In fact, he had already suspected that these people had the bloodline of beasts. As for beasts and humans, it sounded a bit unbelievable, but it was not that big of a deal. After a beast reached the Beast King realm, it could have two forms, a beast form and a human form. A beast form and a human form were not that different. As long as they wanted to, they could stay in their human form for the rest of their lives. Of course, there were some beast kings who preferred the beast form and did not want to become humans. Wang Mei shook her head. No. Even if a normal beast reached the Beast King realm and could transform into a human form, it would not be able to have offspring with humans. Only some extremely rare beasts from the ancient era could do so, such as the ancestor of our Wang family, the nine-headed serpent king. Nine-headed serpent. Yichen was a bit surprised. The nine-headed serpent was a notorious beast in the ancient era. When it was born, it already had the power of a rank 7 beast. When it reached adulthood, it would have the power of a rank 10 beast. Once it became a beast king, it would be 10 times more powerful than a normal beast king. Those people who destroyed your Wang family were also from a demi-beast family? Yichen asked. Wang Mei nodded. Yes, I heard from my grandpa that they were from the Ao family with the bloodline of the blue-eyed white wolf. In the past, the Ao family was only a noble family among the demi-beast families, while our Wang family was the king family. However, the Wang family had declined a long time ago, becoming a normal family. 100 years ago, the Ao family became the king family. Why did the Ao family want to destroy the Wang family, which was also a demi-beast family? That was because they wanted to obtain the bloodline crystal of our Wang family. Yichen remained silent and listened to the other party's next words. Bloodline crystal, a crystal that can increase the density of bloodline and increase the chance of bloodline awakening. Only demonic kings can condense this type of crystal, and it's extremely poisonous. Half-demons with low density of bloodline will die, without a doubt, if they use it. Only half-demons with relatively high density of bloodline can use it effectively. Me and the little snake have used it once. increasing the density of our bloodline from 5-headed snake to 6-headed snake. Once the bloodline awakens, our cultivation base will skyrocket for a period of time without any side effects. Is this the reason why the AO family wants to deal with your Wang family? Could it be that the AO family can also use the bloodline crystal of your Wang family? Wang Mei said, bloodline crystals are formed from demonic energy and the blood essence of a demonic king. I think there should be some similarities between them. Alright, now you can tell me about the strength of the AO clan. Tell me everything you know. Don't hide anything. The AO family is very powerful. Wang Mei's voice sank as she said, although I do not know anything about the AO family, I know about the royal family's power very well. In order to become a royal family, there must be 3 conditions. First, there must be a demonic beast king in the family. Second, there must be at least 4 master-level demonic beast warriors. Third, there must be a demonic beast son in the family. Hearing her, Yichen started to think. The AO family was indeed powerful, ridiculously powerful. It seemed like among the demonic beast families, the royal family would be equivalent to a rank 5 martial institution. No, it might be even more powerful than a normal rank 5 martial institution, because a normal rank 5 martial institution might not even have 4 master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors. What is this demonic beast son? Once the beast bloodline reaches half of the ancestor's bloodline, one would be a demonic beast son. We call it the perfect demonic beast bloodline. The perfect demonic beast bloodline seemed to be similar to Murong's perfect demi-demon bloodline. This condition might be even harder than becoming a master-level demi-beast, since who would be able to control their own beast bloodline and reach half of it? Without a huge opportunity, there would be no way at all. What is the level of your bloodline? Yichen asked casually. Wang's snake answered, we are still far from it. Only when the bloodline density reaches the 9-headed snake level would it be the perfect demonic beast bloodline. But we have only trained 1 bloodline crystal. Once we train the second one, the chance of increasing our bloodline density will be half of the first one, and the third one will be half of the second. Of course, we would not dare to try the last 2 times either. If the first one could not kill us, then the chance of the second one would be doubled, and the third one would be doubled. It would be the opposite of increasing our bloodline density. After training 3 bloodline crystals, we would not be able to train anymore because only the pure 9-headed snake bloodline would be able to train more than 3. We are demonic beasts, so we will never be able to have a pure 9-headed snake bloodline. Now that he knew everything, it was time for Yichen to say something. The AO family is very powerful. All I can do is try my best to ensure your safety. If it is beyond my power, then I will have to say sorry. Right now, the AO family might not be able to chase after you. Let's talk about the future later. Naturally, Yichen hoped that the AO family would not bother to chase after Wang Snake and Wang Mei. Only a rank 5 martial institution would be able to compete with such a powerful being. He would not even be able to fill the gap between their teeth. The good thing was that the king warriors had their own rules, and the demi-beast king of the AO family would not show up for sure. So, the AO family's danger level would be reduced by 1 rank, which would be equivalent to a top rank 6 martial institution. Thank you, Brother Yi. Wang Snake was not too sure about Yichen's power, since the news from the Thunder City martial tea gathering had not arrived yet. But, judging from Yichen's chi, he was undoubtedly at the peak level late astral reaching realm. They are very powerful. I heard from my grandpa that there are demi-beasts who have reached the Sea of Souls realm. Wang Mei hesitated for a while before reminding him. Yichen sighed. If only that were the case. Wang Mei opened her mouth, but did not know what to say. It was not that she did not trust Yichen, but she did not think that astral-reaching realm warriors would be able to compete with Sea of Souls realm warriors. Plus, Yichen had the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline, which would make his battling power even more powerful than Sea of Souls realm warriors at the same level. After staying in the Forbidden Place for a day, Yichen thought about it and said to the 2, "It is not a good idea to stay here all the time. Perhaps they have already left. I will go check out the situation on the Snake Island first. You guys be careful and wait for me to come back." Yi Chen already knew about the exit of the Forbidden Place, which was under the island. Leaving the Forbidden Place, Yi Chen arrived in the sky. This place is so close to the Blue Mountain Island. Yi Chen had flown over this island before, but he did not expect that it would be the forbidden place of the Wang family right under the island. As long as he knew where it was, Yi Chen flew in a straight line towards the Snake Island. On the Snake Island, a group of men in hats appeared on the top of the island. "Ao Sing, have you checked this place?" The man in black asked the leading man in white. "Yes, I have. There is nothing out of the ordinary." "Really?" The man in black did not believe him, so he started to search carefully with the other two. "Captain, there is a transporting stone door 360 miles down there." One of the men in black found a clue. The man in black, who was called the captain, glanced at Ao Sung, but did not say anything. Ao Sung looked a bit embarrassed. Fortunately, he had covered his face with a black cloth. The group of people arrived at the stone room where the transporting stone door was, and they could not help but frown. The energy of this transporting stone door has been used up. It seems like we will have to use the bloodline tracking spell. As he spoke, he took out the bottle of blood from the Wang family people from his storage ring. After opening it, he dropped a drop onto his hand.
Who?
All of a sudden, a blue-eyed white wolf shadow appeared behind him. Its eyes shone with a bright blue light, and a mysterious power poured into the blood drop. Shoo! The blood drop suddenly jumped up and shot onto the stone wall.
It is the west.
They're still 100,000 miles away. Let's go. The group of people moved quickly. After leaving the Snake Island, they flew toward the west at an extreme speed. "Ao Chung, this time, the family sent the three of you here. It should not be just a search for the Wang family people, right?" Ao Sung was very clear that the Wang family only needed to send one green eye tracker. There was no need to send three of them at once. The leading man in black, Ao Chung, said, "We have another mission this time, which is to find out more about the Tuoba family's power." Tuoba family, that is a noble family. Is the family planning to attack them? No, we're just trying to find out more. The power of the Tuoba family is hidden very deeply. Not bad. Ao Sung let out a breath. If they wanted to destroy the Tuoba family, they would have to send out all of the Ao family. Unfortunately, the leader of the family was a demi-beast king. Otherwise, he would be able to take care of the whole Tuoba family by himself. After flying for about 10,000 miles, Ao Chung stopped and continued to perform his bloodline tracking spell. The direction was still the west. On the way, a young man in blue passed by them. Isn't this the sword artist in blue we ran into in the Blue Stone Town?" Ao Seng's eyes flashed as he said to Ao Chung, "What happened?" Ao Chung asked. Ao Seng told Ao Chung what had happened in the Blue Stone Town. "Should we kill him? I feel that there is something wrong with him. His power should be at the Sea of Souls realm. Let's not cause any trouble." Ao Chung shook his head. Yi Chen was able to make it out of the 5 poison great spell alive, so he must be powerful. He did not believe that he was just a normal peak-level astral-reaching realm warrior. Without showing any expression on his face, Yi Chen did not slow down at all as he pulled out the distance between him and the group of men in hats. It is them. Why are they heading in that direction? Perhaps they have a way to find Wang Snake and Wang Mei? I guess I can only try my luck. After flying for hundreds of miles, Yi Chen suddenly stopped and followed them secretly. Although they were very powerful and would not be able to beat them alone, there would still be a chance to save them. Most importantly, Yi Chen could guarantee that he would not die, and that would be enough. Just as Yi Chen had expected, they were flying in the forbidden place of the Wang family without any deviation, as if they knew that the forbidden place was in that direction. Chapter 491. It is here. Ao Chung and the group arrived above the island, looking down. Then I will bring a couple of people down to catch them. You guys stay outside. Ao Sung waved his hand, signaling for the 4 men to follow. Ao Chung nodded his head and said to the remaining 2 bamboo hat men in black and 9 bamboo hat men in white, "The 11 of you, Each take a side. If you see anyone coming over, kill them without mercy. Also, move around as much as possible. With our soul power, we can't seal off the entire island. The island had a radius of hundreds of miles. If one were to look at it as a square, each side would be 500 miles long, and the 4 sides would add up to 2,000 miles. Of course, because it was an irregular shape, it might only be 1,600 or 700 miles. With 12 people guarding it, each of their mental power or soul power would have to cover more than 100 miles. Not to mention the fact that the 9 men in white were only peak-level late astral-reaching realm warriors who could not use their soul power. Even if they were all Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not be able to lock down the whole island. Yes. The 11 of them spread out, flying toward the chosen spot. Hundreds of miles deep in the lake, a blue figure kept flashing. Those 3 men in black are all Sea of Souls realm warriors. Their soul power lockdown range is very wide, and they would be able to sense my soul power. It would not be worth the risk. Those men in white are astral-reaching realm warriors, and my soul power would not only be able to avoid their mental power detection, but also be able to detect me without them noticing. I will sneak into the forbidden place from where they are. After making up his mind, Yichen started to swim forward at a fast speed. The whole process went smoothly, as Yichen easily avoided the mental power lockdown of the men in white and arrived at the entrance of the forbidden place. He then performed his body art and started to fly at top speed. The forbidden place was covered with a restrictive power, so soul power would not be able to get in. People outside would not be able to know what was going on inside. Hold on for a bit longer. Yichen was worried that Wang Snake and Wang Mei might have already fallen into the hands of the men in white, since it had been a long time since then. It is not easy for you two to reach the astral-reaching realm. Hand over the bloodline crystals now, and I will let you go. Ao Sung and the 4 white-clothed bamboo hat men appeared in a fan-shaped formation in the spacious and dark stone hall. 6th Elder, why don't we just kill them and take their storage rings? There's no need to talk about conditions. A white-robed bamboo hat man was puzzled, so he sent a Zhen Yuan transmission. I'm afraid that they've made preparations and hid the bloodline crystals. Are you sure you can find the bloodline crystals if you kill them? Ao Sung was no fool. As the 6th elder of the Ao family, he had not only strength, but also experience. Wang Mei looked gloomy, and all kinds of thoughts flashed through her mind. Did Yichen betray us? Otherwise, how could the Ao clan find this place? Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? No. Why did Yichen betray us? His power was far above mine and Wang Shi's. There was no need for him to leave the forbidden area of the Wang family to inform others. He could deal with us alone. It should be a secret technique of the Ao clan. Thinking that she suspected Yichen, Wang Mei felt a little guilty. I won't hand over the bloodline crystal to you.
Dream on.
Wang Shi's eyes were red, and a huge 6-headed snake shadow appeared behind him. Brat, you want to die? One of the white-robed bamboo hat men yelled. He did not summon the blue-eyed white wolf shadow, but threw out a palm attack. That horrifying palm power attacked toward Wang Shi. Watch out. Wang Mei blocked in front of Wang Shi, blocking that palm attack for him.
Boom.
It was like a bomb had exploded in the stone room. That aggressive chi flow spread out in all directions, blowing Wang Mei and Wang Shi away. Sister Mei, are you okay? Hundreds of meters away, Wang Shi saw the blood coming out of Wang Mei's mouth. Wang Mei shook her head. I'm fine. After so many years of training, Wang Mei had reached the mid-astral reaching realm from the early clasping Yuan realm. Once she called out the 6-headed snake shadow, she would be able to compete with powerful astral reaching realm warriors. Although the white-robed man was at the late astral-reaching realm, he did not call out the blue-eyed white wolf shadow, so his power was not that much more powerful than Wang Mei's. The density of the 6-headed snake bloodline is not bad. Ao Sun looked regretful. If he were a descendant of the Ao family, he would definitely be the focus of training. Wang Mei looked at Ao Sing cautiously, protecting Wang Shi behind her. Shaking his head, Ao Sing took a step forward and said with a creepy voice, "Since you are not willing to hand over the bloodline crystal, then don't blame me for being ruthless."
Come here.
As he reached out his hand, Wang Mei's body was sucked in without any power to fight back. Shoo! Right then, a sword chi shot out, cutting off the sucking power. Who is it? Ao Sing only saw a blur before a blue figure flashed out and pulled Wang Mei back. Brother Yi. Wang Shi was overjoyed. Locking his eyes on Ao Sung, Yi Chen said lightly, "Don't worry, I will take you out." "It's you." Ao Sung recognized Yi Chen. He regretted not killing him earlier, but at the same time, a mocking smile appeared on his face. "You? Since you are here, don't even think about leaving." His protective Zhenyuan had been shattered, turning into pieces of sword light. Yi Chen grabbed Wang Shi and Wang Mei, yelling with a low voice, "Go."
Shoo!
The sword light shot out, and the three disappeared into the tunnel. Ao Seng's expression froze for a second before he yelled, "Where do you think you're going?" With a buzzing sound, a blue-eyed white wolf shadow appeared behind Ao Seng's back. His whole body turned into a sphere of white light, chasing after them. The two of them flew through the tunnel of the Wang family's forbidden area. Soon, Yi Chen was the first to jump out of the exit, diving into the depths of the lake. Ao Sung was furious. He turned his head and yelled, "You four, go inform them." Then, he chased after Yi Chen in a hurry. In the sky above the island, what? They were saved? It was that blue-robed sword artist. Ao Cheng's expression turned ugly. Before, Ao Sung had suggested to kill Yi Chen, but he did not agree. Now that two of the Wang family's descendants had been saved by Yi Chen, it was undoubtedly a slap on his face. "The rest of you stay here. You two follow me." After using the bloodline tracking art to confirm the direction of Wang Shi and Wang Mei, Ao Chung and the two black-robed bamboo hat men chased after them.
Splash!
A water-breaking sound was heard as a sword light shot out. Vaguely, one could see three human figures wrapped within the sword light. Not long after, another human figure shot out. His speed was much slower than the sword light, but he would not be able to get rid of it in a short period of time. "Stay here." Ao Sung threw out a claw attack, his claw shadows flying everywhere. Shoo! The sword light was like a mischievous fish, traveling between the claw shadows without being harmed at all. What kind of secret art is this? An astral-reaching realm warrior can reach 10 times the speed of sound? While Ao Sung was furious, he also felt that it was unbelievable. Normally, an astral-reaching realm warrior who could reach 5 times the speed of sound would already be very powerful. 6 or 7 times the speed of sound would only be for extreme astral-reaching realm warriors with extremely powerful body arts. As for those martial geniuses who could challenge Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not be able to increase their speed to more than 10 times the speed of sound. However, Yi Chen's speed had completely overturned his understanding. "Huh. My Zhenyuan is much richer than yours. Let's see how long you can last." Ao Sung did not believe that Yi Chen could last. The Sea of Souls realm warriors' Zhenyuan was like the ocean, which was not something astral-reaching realm warriors could compete with. One day and one night had passed. Yi Chen had flown a whole 900,000 miles with the two, leaving Ao Sung behind for more than 1,000 miles. However, he did not stop, since it was not a coincidence that these people could find the forbidden place of the Wang family. Perhaps there was something more to it. In fact, Ao Sung was not just 1,000 miles away from Yi Chen, but 2,000 miles. Because of a long chase, he could no longer see Yi Chen, so he had to wait for Ao Cheng to catch up. Only Ao Cheng's bloodline tracking spell could confirm their location.
No.
Let's switch to the flying puppet first. Yi Chen could not take it anymore, since he was not a Sea of Souls realm warrior. One day and one night of flying at such a high speed was quite taxing on him. If it were not for his half-spirit body, he would not be able to take it. The flying puppet's top speed was 10 times the speed of sound. Yi Chen wanted to see if Ao Sung and the rest could catch up or not. If they could not, then there would be no problem, and they could just find a place to hide. If they could, then it would be a big problem, since they obviously had a tracking spell. In less than 15 minutes, Yi Chen had found Ao Chung and Ao Sung. His face darkened. Yichen said to Wang Snake and Wang Mei, "If I have guessed it right, they should be able to track you too with a secret spell." "Then what should we do?" Wang Snake said anxiously. "No other way. We can only fight with our endurance." Yichen could actually go to the South Rudra Martial School since the leader of the school, Long Bai, would be there. But he should not forget that it was the AO family, which was a royal family, which was equivalent to a rank 5 martial school. It was impossible for Yichen to go to the South Rudra Martial School and the Dragon God Celestial Palace for support every time something happened, not to mention that it might bring trouble to the Dragon God Celestial Palace. Putting away the flying puppet, Yichen continued to perform his sword light flying spell. While flying, Yichen split his attention and started to train his undying body. Normally, it would be impossible to train other secret arts while operating Jin Yuan. However, operating Jin Yuan and training the undying body did not conflict at all, since the undying body did not use Jin Yuan, but soul power, which would form a soul mark and brand it on the body. Another day and night had passed, and the group left the Star Regional Lake and arrived at the wavy snow region. Impossible. How could he last that long? Ao Sung and Ao Chung were once again left 1,000 miles away. If it were not for the bloodline tracking spell, they would have lost Yichen long ago. Ao Chung said with a low voice, "Only 2 days. I don't believe that he could last more than 5 days. This brat is strange."
I hope it is as you said.
The sword light sliced through the sky, not slowing down at all. Not long ago, I had successfully branded the soul mark on the 5 viscera. Now I have also done it on the 6 viscera. Next I will start on the 4 limbs. Once the 4 limbs are done, the first level of the flesh healing will be 80% complete. Perhaps it was because of the urgency of the situation, but Yi Chen's speed of training the undying body had increased by dozens of times. It was like he was sitting on a rocket. Chapter 492. Brother Yi is so powerful. Being carried by Yi Chen with one hand and flying at an extreme speed, Wang Snake's admiration for Yi Chen had reached a new level. It was not an astral-reaching realm warrior chasing after them, but 4 Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts. Even under the pursuit of 4 Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts, Yi Chen was still able to carry them for 2 days. It was beyond Wang Snake's imagination. If Wang Snake was still a young brat before, then right now, he was a new generation of demi-beast martial geniuses. He would not admire anyone he saw, but his admiration for Yi Chen was pure. Wang Mei was also shocked. Before, she did not have much hope for Yi Chen, since the power gap between them was way too huge. No matter how hard they struggled, it would not help at all. Therefore, she decided to face it calmly. But now, she did not think like that anymore. She had a chance to survive, and the only reason for that was because of Yi Chen. Shoo. The sword light was like an aurora in the void. Every time it flickered, it would cover a distance of 10 miles. It was truly 10 miles in an instant. The people chasing after them were divided into 2 groups. One of them was Ao Sung and Ao Chung, who had been left behind by Yi Chen for over 2,000 li, unable to shake him off. One of them was the 2 men in black robes. Although they were also Sea of Souls realm demi-beasts, they were way weaker than Ao Sung and Ao Chung. They were at least 6,000 miles away. Fortunately, the 2 knew the bloodline tracking spell, so they did not lose track of them. Ao Chung, is this guy really at the peak level 8 astral reaching realm? We have been chasing for 2 days and 2 nights, but we still could not catch up. The man in black robes was shocked.
Ha!
This guy dares to go against our AO family. Once we catch him, we will let him experience what it feels like to be dead. The man in black robes named Ao Chung said with hatred. I do not think it is that simple. Since he dares to go against our AO family, he might have some kind of support. How could a normal power have such a horrifying martial genius? What are you afraid of? Our AO family is the King family. Even rank 5 martial institutions would have to respect us. Even if we cannot kill him, we can take him back and torture him. No one would dare to say anything. The weather in the misty snow region was extremely cold. Even though one was high up in the sky, one could still feel the cold air cutting down like ice blades.
Sit up.
Taking out the flying puppet, Yichen flew up and sat on it. Big brother Yi, is this a high-grade puppet? Wang's snake felt much more relaxed. Back then, Yichen had protected him all the way to the Wang family on the Snake Island. Now, Yichen was protecting them again. To him, Yichen was like a brother but also like a senior, giving him a strong sense of security. Yichen nodded. I found it in some ruins. After saying that, he closed his eyes and began to meditate. After flying for 2 days and 2 nights, Yichen had swallowed a lot of true essence restoring pills. Now, his true essence had begun to turn turbid, and there were impurities in it. After all, pills were external objects. If he used too many of them, there would always be side effects. If he didn't eliminate these side effects, then he would be in danger. His true essence operated according to the 14th level of the Green Lotus sword spell. Yichen cleaned out the impurities bit by bit, recovering his purity. I see him. Indeed, his total Zhenyuan is still at the astral reaching realm. It is not as rich as us. After 15 minutes, Ao Sung and Ao Qing started to catch up. They had only swallowed 1 pill on the way, so they were not affected at all. Let's charge over in one go. Ao Chung was afraid that something bad would happen if he dragged it out, so he risked the possibility of his meridians being damaged. Seeing that the two were about to catch up, Wang Snake and Wang Mei started to panic. Don't worry. Yi Chen's face looked like it had been carved by a knife, without any expression. As he spoke, 2 steel pipes appeared from the back of the flying puppet. One of them had an orange-yellow light spot on its end, which was getting bigger and bigger until it turned into a light ball.
Boom.
A beam of light shot out, turning into a bright red light wave.
Not good. Dodge.
Ao Chung and Ao Seng's speed was too fast as they approached the flying puppet quickly. The flying puppet fired a cannon at them, which meant that the two were moving at an extreme speed, which would increase their reaction speed by 2 times. Not to mention the fact that they could not react in time. Even if they were prepared, they might not be able to avoid that huge light wave completely.
Boom.
The light wave exploded, and the two's speed decreased drastically. It is only an extreme astral-reaching realm attack. Damn it! Its attacking speed is even faster than ours. Ao Sung did not care about the power of the puppet cannon, but its attacking speed annoyed him. The two were 30 miles away from each other, yet it still managed to hit the target. Let's split up. Let's see what kind of tricks he has up his sleeves. Ao Chung suggested.
All right. Shoo.
The two flew to the left and right, increasing the distance between them. This way, the light wave explosion would not be able to affect the two at the same time. Yichen had been paying attention to the two with his soul power. Seeing that they had split up, he flicked his finger, and the leopard-shaped flying puppet appeared. I will leave this flying puppet to you two.
Attack it as hard as you can.
Wang Snake and Wang Mei were very interested in the flying puppet, so they hurried to nod.
Boom. Boom.
Beams of light shot out, moving at a lightning-fast speed. Bastard. Let's attack as well. Ao Sung and Ao Chung were in a terrible situation. Their speed was sometimes fast and sometimes slow, and they could not control the rhythm well. Before, they did not attack Yi Chen because if they did, it would affect their speed. But now, they had to fight back with all of their power. Otherwise, they would never be able to catch up with him for the rest of their lives. Ghost Wolf Claw. Ao Seng's right hand and the blue-eyed white wolf's claw reached out at the same time. Countless green claw lights shot out, tearing apart the clouds. Hunting Chain. Ao Chung trained the gold element Zhenyuan. Zhenyuan circulated in his palm, shooting out 2 blue-red chains. The chains seemed to be real, making a loud noise and bringing up sparks, trying to entangle Yi Chen and the other two. Back. Yi Chen jumped into the air, grabbing Wang Snake and Wang Mei with each hand. The 2 flying puppets were also put into a storage ring.
Shoo.
The sword light sliced through the sky, traveling between the claw shadows and the chains. Seeing this, Ao Sung and Ao Qing almost puked out a mouthful of blood.
It was so annoying.
They could not catch up with him, and neither could they hit him. I wonder how long these two are going to chase for. In fact, Yichen was also very tired. In just half an hour, he had only made 50 to 60% of the impurities, and his Zhenyuan was not as pure as before. If this continued, his speed would be slower and slower, and eventually, he would be caught up by the two. Glancing at Wang Snake and Wang Mei, Yichen let out a breath. If he left these two behind, the chance of him escaping would be 100%. Even if he did not escape, those two would not be able to do anything to him, since his sword steps were not something to be trifled with. Right now, they should really want to live. The thought of leaving the two behind flashed through Yi Chen's mind as he made up his mind to escape with the two, giving them a chance to live. Before they knew it, the three had arrived above a huge ice mountain. There were a lot of palaces on top of the ice mountain, all of which looked very elegant. There were countless human figures flying around, giving off a prosperous scene. Teacher, the attacking movement of the Ice Snow Sword Realm cut. I still have some questions. Can you explain it to me? On top of the ice mountain, a cold-looking young lady and an extremely beautiful girl were standing there. The beautiful girl was indeed Feng Yanrou. The cold-looking young lady said lightly, "There is no use in talking. I will just perform it for you."
Thank you, teacher.
Feng Yanrou opened her eyes wide, staring at the cold-looking young lady without blinking. Her teacher was none other than the leader of the floating snow martial school, the Snow Sword Master. She was a master-level warrior who was very famous among all the master-level warriors in the whole True Spirit continent. Watch carefully. The Snow Sword Master slightly stomped on the ground. Countless sword lights appeared around her body, which were connected from head to tail, layer upon layer. It looked like an iron ball made of countless swords, which was more than 10 times more powerful than Feng Yanrou's Ice Snow Sword Realm.
Cut.
The ice element Jinyuan in her hand condensed into an ice sword, and she threw out a sword attack into the sky.
Shoo.
All of the sword lights around her body were sucked out, and a cold, white light shot out. It was 90,000 meters long, seeming to be able to tear the sky apart. The sea of clouds turned into ice crystals, falling down from the sky. The shocking sky above the sea of clouds could be seen clearly. Feng Yanrou let out a breath slowly. Every time she saw her teacher attack, she would be very shocked. The title of Snow Sword Master was not just for show. Teacher, there is someone chasing us up there. That person in front looks so familiar. This Qi. It is Yi Chen. Yi Chen was wrapped in the sword light and could not be seen with naked eyes. But the qi that was leaking out of him made Feng Yanrou recognize him immediately. He is indeed Yi Chen, the martial genius from the tea gathering. Snow Sword Master was a bit surprised. In her eyes, Yi Chen's future would be limitless. Having master-level sword intent at the astral-reaching realm was something she had never thought of before. It was also something that had never happened before. In other words, Yi Chen's record in sword intent would be the best in the history, and there might not be anyone who could break it in the future. Teacher, why don't you save him once? Making friends with such a martial genius would be good for our snowy martial school. Feng Yanrou looked at Snow Sword Master. Snow Sword Master was about to agree, but her eyes froze all of a sudden. She stared at the man in white and the man in black. Behind them was the blue-eyed white wolf shadow.
No.
Saving him will bring trouble to our snowy martial school. Snow Sword Master rejected immediately. Why? Feng Yanrou did not understand. The two people chasing him are not simple. Even rank 5 martial schools would not want to mess with them. They are from the AO family, and there are 5 master-level warriors in the AO family, maybe even more. Do you think our snowy martial school has the right to compete with them? Snow Sword Master really wanted to save Yi Chen. She could imagine how powerful Yi Chen would be in the future. It might even be possible for him to become a Sword King. But right now, she could not save him. 5 master-level warriors. Feng Yanrou remained silent. Everyone knew about the power of master-level warriors. Although she thought that her master's snow sword master was very powerful and did not need to be afraid of any master-level warrior, but if one was not enough, then what about 2? What about 5? Let's go back. He will not die that easily. Otherwise, he would not have been able to escape until now. Snow Sword Master shook her head and turned to leave. Chapter 493. That sword just now. So powerful. It's ice profound. Although Snow Sword Master's sword didn't cut open stunning sky, Yichen knew that the opponent was intentionally restraining herself, as if she was demonstrating it to someone. Otherwise, with the might of that sword, not to mention stunning sky, it could even tear apart extreme void sky. This is the Misty Snow Palace's territory. The one who waved this sword should be Misty Snow Sword Master, right? Ao Sung said solemnly. Ao Cheng nodded. It's Snow Sword Master without a doubt. No wonder people say that she's among the top 5 sword masters. Just this sword alone can heavily injure ordinary master-level characters. As long as she doesn't hinder us, it's fine. Otherwise, the master-level characters of my Ao family are not to be trifled with. The 2 only sighed at the might of Snow Sword Master, but they didn't have much apprehension. After all, they were only passing by the Misty Snow Palace. South of Misty Snow region was the edge of the continent. If they continued flying, they would arrive at Boundless Ocean. Compared to true Spirit Continent, Boundless Ocean was indeed boundless. Nobody knew if Boundless Ocean had an end or not, or if it was the edge of this world. If true Spirit Continent was known, then Boundless Ocean was unknown. The danger of Boundless Ocean far surpassed the former. One of the dangers of Boundless Ocean was the ocean demonic beasts. True Spirit Continent's demonic beasts were limited, but Boundless Ocean's was limitless. If true Spirit Continent could give birth to a demonic king, then Boundless Ocean could give birth to many times more demonic kings. Of course, because Boundless Ocean was too vast, demonic kings couldn't be found normally. Upon arriving at Boundless Ocean, Yichen felt that the wind here was very strong enough to blow away clasping yuan martial artists. In some places where the wind was concentrated, the air currents actually formed into wind blades. These wind blades were as fast as lightning, producing sharp air-piercing sounds. Apart from this, in the sky above Boundless Ocean, the water yuan qi was abnormally dense, condensing into water droplets. Some water droplets were the size of rice grains, reflecting a sparkling radiance, while others were the size of small mountains, floating in the sky, slowly moving. Crackle. A lightning bolt suddenly shot out from the water droplets, dazzling to the extreme. Yichen did not expect the water droplet to release lightning at him, so he did not have enough time to dodge. He could only lift up his left hand and blow out the lightning. Along the way, Yichen was attacked by lightning many times. Fortunately, he was prepared, so it was not difficult for him to avoid them. Soon after, Yichen witnessed an astonishing scene. The instant a flying demonic beast was struck by lightning, the water droplet rushed over and wrapped around the corpse of the flying demonic beast, slowly decomposing it and absorbing its nutrients. Could it be that these water droplets have their own consciousness? Yichen secretly marveled at the wonders of the endless sea. 50 to 60 li behind him, Ao Chung and Ao Sung were in hot pursuit. 5 days and 5 nights. Is this sky made of iron? For the first time, Ao Sung felt a little discouraged. For a member of the Ao family who had inherited the blue-eyed white wolf's bloodline, this was inconceivable. Wolves were extremely tenacious animals and would not give up easily. Ao Sung, don't give up. Ao Cheng's patience was much higher than Ao Seng's. Of course, he was a green-eye tracker, so he had to be patient. Ao Sung smiled bitterly. The endless sea is filled with dangers. Do we really have to keep chasing? This brat is determined to play with us to the end. Who knows, he might succeed in the next moment. Just wait for the right opportunity. Ao Cheng knew that Ao Seng's words were not without reason, but giving up before encountering any obstacles was not his style, nor was it the style of a green eye tracker. This would have a huge impact on his martial path. Brother Yi, you must be tired. Wangxi raised his head to look at Yichen. Yichen shook his head, not tired. In the bewilderment fog forbidden zone, Yichen had been searching for a way out for several months. Even in that hopeless situation, he had persevered.
How could he not do it this time?
Moreover, these 5 days and 5 nights were not for nothing. Besides his 5 viscera and 6 bowels, he had already succeeded in branding the soul mark on his left leg. With just one more step, he would succeed in branding his right leg as well. However, although Yi Chen was not tired, he had to admit that the distance between them was getting shorter. On the first day, Yi Chen could throw the other 2,000 li away. On the second day, it was slightly weaker, at 1,700 or 800 li. On the third day, it was 1,200 or 300 li. On the fourth day, it was only 800 li. On the fifth day, he could at most 300 li. On the sixth day, the distance between them was not even 100 li, only 50 to 60 li. The Zhenyuan purity in my body is probably not even 30% of what it was before. After cultivating green lotus Zhenyuan to the 14th layer, it had become incomparably pure. Currently, Yi Chen's Zhenyuan quantity had not decreased, and the purity of his Zhenyuan was at most equivalent to the 9th layer of green lotus sword arts. Fortunately, sword light flight art was created based on attack speed, and did not have a high requirement for Zhenyuan purity. It was impossible to say that people with high Zhenyuan purity would have a much higher attack speed than those with low Zhenyuan purity. Otherwise, if Yi Chen encountered a Sea of Soul realm expert, how could he fight? Of course, the decrease in Zhenyuan purity would affect the speed, but it would not be that obvious. 50 li, 30 li, 10 li. When the dawn of the boundless ocean arrived, the distance between the two had never been so close. For ordinary people, 10 li might take a while, but for Ao Chung and Ao Sung, 10 li was a blink of an eye. If not for Yi Chen maintaining high speed, they would have caught up to Yi Chen in a blink of an eye. So close. Let me see how you dodge my attack. Ao Chung extended both his hands, and dozens of greenish-red chains shot out like steel tentacles, enveloping Yi Chen in front of him. With a grave expression, Yi Chen flicked his finger backward.
Swish.
A bullet-like lotus heart sword chi shot out, creating sparks on Ao Cheng's protective Zhenyuan. In the next moment, his Zhenyuan was shattered. Sword chi. Blood blossomed from Ao Cheng's shoulder. If it weren't for the protective Zhenyuan blocking the sword chi's path, it wouldn't have been his shoulder that was injured, but his heart. Once the heart was pierced, it meant death, unless he had some kind of miraculous medicine that could regenerate flesh and bones and heal it immediately. This person is extremely dangerous. Ao Cheng's body froze slightly. With his Zhenyuan connection broken, he lost control of the greenish-red chains. He finally realized that Yi Chen did not only have speed, but also his battle prowess. He had been a bit careless. Yi Chen frowned. The power of the Lotus Heart Sword Chi was extremely powerful, but he did not expect it to be deviated by his opponent's protective Zhenyuan. Judging from this, Ao Cheng's battling power was even more powerful than Yu Youtian's. If Yi Chen were to battle with Yu Youtian again, his chances of winning would be around 60 to 70%. However, his chances of killing the latter might not even be 10%, since the latter would definitely be able to escape. Go down for me. Ao Sung launched his attack. A huge Zhenyuan hand reached out, and countless water droplets exploded while lightning flashed across the sky. You two, hold on tight. Back in the Wang family's forbidden ground, Yi Chen could already tell that Wang Mei and Wang Snake had feelings for each other. Therefore, he let them stay close to each other while he pulled out his emerald longsword with his right hand and slashed at the huge Zhenyuan hand.
Boom.
A huge shockwave spread out, shattering the sword light around Yi Chen's body. However, his speed did not decrease at all, and he was pushed back by the shockwave. On the contrary, Ao Seng's speed dropped drastically. Blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth. Yi Chen was injured. The purity of his Zhenyuan had dropped too much, leaving him with only 60 to 70% of his battle prowess. However, with the undying body, this kind of injury did not affect him much. Hee, let's see how long you can last. Seeing Yi Chen injured, Ao Sung seemed to see hope, and his spirit rose. Boom, 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 boom. The two were separated by dozens of li. After exchanging dozens of moves, although Yi Chen had a lot of blood on the corner of his mouth, his battle prowess did not decrease at all. Impossible. Ao Sung revealed a shocked expression. His advantage before was 80%, but now it was still 80%. Could it be that those injuries did not affect him at all? On the other side, Ao Cheng stealthily approached 3 li away from Yi Chen.
Swish.
A new Lotus Heart Sword Qi had already formed in Yi Chen's body, and he flicked his finger. The Lotus Heart Sword Qi was extremely fast. Ao Cheng had no choice but to clash with Yi Chen head-on. In this exchange, both sides were evenly matched. It was not because Yi Chen had recovered to his peak, but because the Lotus Heart Sword Qi was not affected by the purity of Zhenyuan. Let's beat him together. Yi Chen's stubbornness had thoroughly enraged Ao Cheng, and he yelled at Ao Sung. The two attacked Yi Chen from the left and right. On the left were dozens of green-red chains, while on the right were numerous green claw shadows.
Pucci.
Carrying 2 people, Yi Chen's mobility was greatly reduced. His ribs were pierced by a green-red chain, and blood splashed everywhere. Bind. Ao Cheng's palm retracted, and the chain that had pierced through Yi Chen coiled around his body. In this situation, Yi Chen's expression was still as calm as an ancient well. His forehead swelled as he pushed his soul power to the limit, quickly finding the weak point of the green-red chain and cutting it off with a single sword strike. Having lost its source, the green-red chain that had coiled around Yi Chen scattered.
Swish.
At the same time that Yi Chen cut off the chain, his chest was also hit by 2 claw shadows. His skin was torn open, and even his bones were almost broken. Without caring about the wound on his chest, Yi Chen waved the emerald longsword in his hand to its limit, blocking the dozens of green-red chains that were coming at him. One chain after another broke off, flying in the air. However, the more chains that were broken, the more came at him. The wound on his chest and ribs had already recovered, but Yi Chen's expression finally turned ugly. It turned out that the 2 black-robed bamboo hat men had caught up. Fighting with numbers. Aren't you ashamed? A cudgel shadow flew out, smashing all the greenish-red chains and sending Ao Sung, who was on the other side, flying dozens of miles away. Who? Ao Chung looked over. The sea of clouds below broke apart, and a black-haired human-shaped ape rushed up. He held a dark blue iron stick in his hand, and his bulging muscles seemed to be filled with explosive power. Sharp fangs protruded from his upper lip, and his pupils were abnormally fierce. Chapter 494. Ape Demonic Beast. It can talk. It was Yi Chen's first time seeing a demonic beast that could talk. Although demonic beasts could also talk after cultivating to the demonic king level, this black-furred human-shaped ape was clearly not a demonic king, but a 9th or 10th grade demonic beast. Its ability to talk might be due to its human-like appearance. It was also Wang Snake and Wang Mei's first time seeing a demonic beast that could talk, so they curiously stared at the human-shaped ape. Who do you think you are? How dare you meddle in our Ao family's business? Ao Sing flew over from dozens of li away, looking extremely miserable. The staff shadow had come too suddenly, and he couldn't even dodge it. What shocked him even more was that his protective Zhenyuan couldn't even withstand a single strike from the staff shadow, and he was directly sent flying dozens of li away, suffering a serious internal injury. The human-shaped ape pointed at Ao Sing and said arrogantly, "First, I am not a thing.
My name is Sun Xiaojin.
Second, I don't care if you are from the Ao family or whatever. In front of me, Sun Xiaojin, you are not worth mentioning. If I want to fight, I will fight. You'd better ask around about the background of my Ao family," Ao Chung said with a gloomy face. Sun Xiaojing glanced at Ao Cheng. What? Is your Ao family very powerful? The two black-clothed bamboo hat experts who had just arrived were infuriated. My Ao family is the royal family among the demonic beast families. We have a demonic beast king and over 5 master-level elders. If you leave now, you'll still have a chance to turn back. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. So, you're a demonic beast. No wonder you're so arrogant. However, your grandpa is a genuine demonic beast. Eat my staff. Sun Xiaojin's words were strange, and his expression was insolent. He raised his dark cyan staff high and smashed it toward Ao Cheng and the other 3.
Boom, boom, boom.
As the staff descended, countless staff shadows burst forth, seeming like a heavenly river descending with a majestic aura.
Bastard.
Ao Cheng didn't expect Sun Xiaojin to attack without any hesitation. He didn't put the Ao family in his eyes at all. He roared angrily and activated his Zhen Yuan with all his strength. Immediately, numerous cyan-red chains interweaved together, forming a huge chain net that tightly protected his body. Ao Sung had suffered at Sun Xiaojin's hands before, so he hurriedly circulated his power and threw out a huge demonic wolf claw. The demonic wolf claw flickered with a pale green light as it clashed with the stick shadow. The other 2 bamboo hat men worked together to defend, waiting for an opportunity to counterattack. Little ones, it's not over yet.
Fly.
The muscles on Sun Xiaojin's arms rapidly expanded, and the iron stick in his hands became as light as a feather. He instantly changed from a vertical chop to a horizontal sweep. Bang! The 4C of Spirit Realm half-beasts were sent flying, and the 2 black-robed men who had just joined in vomited blood. Such powerful strength. Ao Cheng's pupils shrank. This human-shaped ape that could speak was so strong that it made one's hair stand on end. It didn't seem as simple as an ordinary demonic beast. Beast, don't be too arrogant. Ao Sung was, after all, the 6th elder of the Ao clan. His strength was not to be underestimated. With a slight shake of his body, the cyan-eyed white wolf behind him roared towards the sky. A terrifying pressure spreading out for dozens of li. His hands quickly formed a series of hand seals. As the hand seals were completed, a cyan light ball gradually formed in the cyan-eyed white wolf's mouth. The inside of the ball was black. Go! With a swoosh, the light ball turned into a beam of light and shot toward Sun Xiaojin. Insignificant skill. Sun Xiaojin grinned as his iron stick struck the front of the light beam. Like a thunderclap, the light beam was immediately shattered. Sun Xiaojin couldn't help but take a dozen steps back, his tall and sturdy body looking majestic. At the same time as Ao Sing attacked, the 2 black-robed bamboo hat men also launched a fierce attack. Boundless Zhen Yuan drowned Sun Xiaojin. Bind. Ao Cheng was the last to attack. As soon as he did so, an earth-shattering cyan-red chain shot out, binding Sun Xiaojin, who had just broken free, like a rice dumpling. Seeing this, Ao Sung and the 2 black-robed bamboo hat men let out a sigh of relief. In terms of battle power, this human-shaped ape was almost equivalent to a Taoist-level expert. His monstrous strength was indeed impressive. However, after being bound by hundreds of cyan-red chains, he wouldn't be able to break free no matter how powerful he was. A mocking expression appeared on Sun Xiaojin's face. You want to trap me with just this? Big, big, big. Every time he uttered the word big, Sun Xiaojin's body would expand by 10 times. After uttering the word 3 times, he had already become a 3,000-meter-tall, horrifying giant ape. Even the shortest black hair on his body was hundreds of meters long and as thick as a bowl, shining with a metallic black luster. His pair of red eyes were like 2 red stars in the sky, shooting out beams of light that were thousands of meters long. As for the chains that bound Sun Xiaojin, they had already been broken into pieces. I forgot to tell you guys, this is my true battle form. With a thunderous voice, Sun Xiaojin looked down at the 4. So big. Wang's snake was dumbfounded. Sun Xiaojin, who was standing in the sky, was simply too big. The clouds were curling around his body, looking like countless white ribbons. The air coming out of his nostrils was like a whirlwind, causing the whole area to be filled with violent gales and wind blades. Yichen was also quite surprised. This ape was indeed abnormal. Not only could it speak human language, it could also change its size, increasing its battle power by several folds.
Boom.
Without using any treasures, Sun Shaojin formed a fist with his right hand and punched out with his hill-sized fist, bringing up astral winds and even creating wind, fire, thunder, and water. Not good. Retreat. The four's faces turned pale as they backed off madly. However, even though they backed off fast, Sun Shaojin's fist speed was even faster. In less than 1/10 of the blink of an eye, the four's bodies were instantly hit.
Pooh.
Ao Chung and Ao Sing puked out a huge mouthful of blood, looking extremely weak. The other two black-robed men were even worse. They directly fainted, and no one knew if they were still alive or dead. Retreat. Without another word, Ao Chung grabbed one of the black-robed men and ran out. Ao Sing followed closely behind, also grabbing a black-robed man. Next time you see your grandpa Sun Shaojin, remember to hide far away. Sun Shaojin seemed to be reckless, but he knew better than anyone else that wounding the four was fine, but killing the four was not a good idea. The blue-eyed white wolf shadow behind the four was not some ordinary thing. It was a powerful demonic beast king from the ancient era. How could its descendants be ordinary? He had not reached the level where he could kill anyone he wanted to. Many thanks for Brother Sun's help. I am Yichen. Right then, Yichen flew over with the other two and cupped his fists. His body suddenly shrunk to 3 meters tall as he chuckled. I just don't like them, especially the aura on their bodies. Yichen froze for a second, but soon realized what was going on. Demonic beasts always had a bad temper. When two equally powerful demonic beasts ran into each other, a huge battle might break out. Obviously, the blue-eyed white wolf bloodline inside the Ao family people made Sun Shaojin very uncomfortable, which was why he decided to suppress them. Of course, no matter what their intentions were, it was a fact that they had helped him beat back the Ao family's people. Your two friends seem to be half-beasts as well. Sun Shaojin frowned as a vicious light flashed through his eyes. Yichen was shocked, not knowing what Sun Shaojin meant. Don't worry, as long as they don't provoke me, Sun Shaojin, it will be fine. Also, it would be best if they don't release their bloodline power in front of me. Hearing these words, Yichen let out a sigh. This Sun Shaojin's temperament was truly eccentric, making people scratch their heads in confusion. You three should have come from True Spirit Continent, right? Sun Shaojin asked. Right? Yichen faintly nodded. Then you'd better be careful. This boundless ocean is extremely dangerous. Even I don't dare to wander around. I can only wander around familiar places. Why don't you come with me to the Water Ape Cave? My Water Ape clan is very hospitable, and it's been a long time since we had a guest. Water Ape Cave. Is it under the sea? Wang Shi asked curiously. Just follow me. Sun Shaojin's temperament dictated that he didn't care whether the others agreed or not. He directly flew toward the sea under the clouds. Let's go, Yichen said to the two after a slight hesitation. Previously, it was nighttime, so Yichen didn't have much of an observation of the boundless ocean. But now that the sun had risen, the three could immediately feel the depth and vastness of the ocean. Black waves rose and fell, easily reaching 1,000 meters in height. Sailing on this ocean, even a 10,000-meter-long ship would be overturned and torn apart. As far as the eye could see, the boundless ocean gave off a berserk oppressive feeling. With a water-breaking sound, the 3 humans and 1 beast dove into the seabed. After diving for around 50,000 meters, an underwater mountain range appeared in front of them. This mountain range was thousands of meters high and stretched out for an unknown distance. On the cliff, there was a giant cave entrance. The cave entrance was sealed by a barrier of light. Above the cave entrance were 4 large golden words, Water Ape Cave Mansion. This is the cave of my Water Ape clan. Sun Shaojin introduced the place to the three while greeting the high-level demonic beasts wandering near the huge mountain. He then dove into the light membrane. Yi Chun and the other two also followed him in. After passing through the light membrane, the water flow suddenly disappeared and was replaced by a wide and grand inner space. There were mountains, rivers, forests, buildings, and a large number of gray apes. These gray apes looked quite similar to Sun Shaojin and were obviously from the same demonic beast race. However, the evil qi on their bodies was a lot weaker than Sun Shaojin's, even if some of them were not weaker than Sun Shaojin's. They are all members of the Water Ape clan, but their bloodline is not as high as mine. They are merely ordinary water apes. As he spoke up to hear, Sun Shaojin seemed extremely proud, not concealing his complacency in the slightest. Yi Chun rubbed his chin. In his opinion, these gray apes were not ordinary demonic beasts. They were several grades higher than the demonic beasts commonly seen on the continent, and their bloodline was extremely ancient. Shaojin, you sneaked out of play again.
Who are they?
A human and two half-beasts? A few gray apes surrounded them, and the old ape in the lead said in bewilderment. Sun Shaojin said, "Second Grandpa Sun, they are my guests. Don't make things difficult for them." Shaojin, is it not enough for you to have us as your friends? Why do you have to make friends with humans? Sun Shaojin raised his head. Who I want to make friends with is none of your business. Yi Chun chuckled inwardly. It seemed like this Sun Shaojin was the little tyrant of the Water Ape clan. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.